my name is Caleb Alku, and my topic today is the myth that reviews are crucial for ranking a Google business profile. I don't mean to say that reviews aren't important at all, but so many SEO gurus are out there saying that reviews are the most important thing, and if you need to rank or you want to rank a Google business profile locally, then all you need to do is run out and get lots more reviews. And one thing that I want you to think about is, why would they say that? They actually are not very important to rank. There are a lot of good things that those reviews will do, but for ranking locally, they're not very important at all. We've ranked many clients with very few reviews, and I'll give you some examples, okay? Now, in the top of that, I'm going to give you quite a few very solid ChatGPT prompts that we've used at my agency that help a lot with local ranking. If you're stuck, if you can't figure something out, if you need help to answer some questions, ChatGPT can be incredibly useful in giving you a boost for local SEO. So this prevailing belief that I keep seeing so many different SEO gurus talk about is that reviews are the most important, that they're vital in ranking a GBP. And as I've said, they're really not. They're not very important at all. They're not even in the top 5 factors for ranking a local GBP. Later on in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what are the important factors for ranking a local GBP. And I'll talk about a client that I have who is getting over 100,000 visitors a month, but it's from a failed SEO engagement from their prior agency. So reviews contribute to ranking. I'm not saying that they don't contribute at all, but they don't contribute very much for local SEO rankings. I want to show you a quick example. If you type in Plumber Houston, you'll see something that looks like this, okay? Right now it's January of 2024, and this is what's ranking for Plumber Houston. These are the 3 map results, the top ranked results for local SEO in Houston for the keyword plumber. Now you can see the top ranked one has 12 reviews, number 2 has 2,800 reviews, and number 3 has like 500 reviews. So this is a pretty clear example of how you can outrank big numbers of reviews if you do other things right. Okay, my impression of why so many SEO agencies say that reviews are the number one thing to rank is because if you're a mediocre SEO agency and you're having trouble ranking your client for such a competitive keyword like Plumber Houston, it's a lot easier to tell that client, hey, you need to go get more reviews. It's your fault you're not ranking. Than it's to tell that client that you're a mediocre SEO agency. So in my mind, that's one of the reasons this myth got so prevalent. If you hit more businesses for this Houston search and keep scrolling, you'll see that the 10th ranked business has 5,000 reviews and the 13th ranked business has 13,000 reviews. Remember, number 1 has 12, okay? Now, reviews are good for building trust and credibility. Somewhat with Google, but honestly, it's mainly trust and credibility with the users. So reviews help with conversion. That plumber with 12 reviews, he's going to get a lot fewer calls than the plumber with 2,800 reviews. Now, don't get me wrong, ranking number 1 for Plumber Houston, he probably has over $1 million business, even though he only has 12 reviews. But if he went and got 2,000 more reviews so that he was competitive with the top 3, then his business would go up by a lot. Now, we do know that around 70%, 60 to 70% of the traffic, of the calls, of the leads, of the customers go to the top 3 ranked map listings. Between those 3, deciding between 1, 2, and 3, it's really about the reviews and the overall review rating. So you want to try to get more reviews than your competition to help get more calls if you're already ranked. But if you're not ranked, if you're in position 30 for Plumber Houston, getting more and more and more reviews, it might help you go from position 30 to position 25, but it won't bring you into the top 3. As I said, you can go find example businesses with 10,000 plus reviews that are ranked 13th, 14th. They're not getting any calls from Google. So let's talk about what actually impacts local SEO ranking. So the first thing that we always look at when we're looking at a potential new client in the local SEO space who isn't ranking in the top 3 in the maps is, where is their organic ranking for that same keyword? And generally, you'll want that organic ranking to be at least on the 2nd or 3rd page before they have a shot at being in the top 3. There are exceptions, and of course it depends on the competition of the space, but in general, if the organic ranking is below the third page, like their fourth page or worse, then we're not going to be able to get that GBP ranked unless we first work on the organic ranking. And I'll talk in more detail how we do that in a little bit. But beyond that organic ranking, we also make sure to look at the Google Business Profile optimization. There are a lot of boxes, there are a lot of fields to fill out on the GBP. Every single one of them needs to be completed, needs to be filled out. If you have any trouble and you're struggling to come up with things to put in all of those boxes and the description and things like that, no problem, just ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is going to help you. Local keywords are incredibly important. You want to establish with Google that you are a business in that local area. And one way to do that and beat out all of the lead gen type properties is to use local languages. Talk about local events, talk about local neighborhoods. And I'll give you a ChatGPT that we use for that. We also have name, address, phone number consistency. They need to be exactly consistent down to the character, and focus on on-site SEO, local schema markup, load speed, and things like that. One of the things on that GBP that you're going to want to make sure that you get right is the business category. The first category is usually pretty easy, but Google allows you to have 5 categories. So you're going to want to choose at least 3, but hopefully 5. So if you're having trouble figuring out which other categories to select, here's a ChatGPT prompt for you. You are a local SEO expert. What additional categories should a local business plumber in Houston, Texas use for their Google Business Profile? And then ChatGPT will give you several examples, and they're usually pretty good. Take the ones that make sense and add them to your GBP. Don't just have one category. Another area of offsite is citations. A citation, if you don't know, it's basically your name, address, and phone number appearing on the internet. They're less important now than they were a few years ago, but they're cheap and easy to do, so you should just go do them. You can do them yourself. If you don't want to do them yourself, here's a good source where you can hire someone to do them for you. But at the end of the day, one of the philosophies at my agency is if it's something that helps SEO and it's cheap and easy to do, then we should just go and do it, okay? We don't need to split test something like citations when for $100 you can do the citations. You never have to do it again. Once is enough. Just do the citations. I mentioned local schema earlier. To dive into that a little bit more, you're going to want to use something called JSON LD, which is Google's preferred format for local markup schema. It goes on the URL that the GBP links to, not the whole domain, just the one URL that the GBP links to, okay? And you need to make sure the information matches the information on the GBP exactly. I have no idea how to write local markup schema in JSON LD, but I do know who does. ChatGPT is excellent at it. If you ask ChatGPT to help you with local schema, it will do a very good job and tell you exactly the information it needs to know in order to write your local schema for you. Then just take that, copy it, and put it on the URL that the GBP links to. Classic mistake to put it on the whole domain. Don't do that, just the one URL. So I mentioned organic ranking. Now, I'm going to talk about something here that is called semantic SEO. So what that basically means is that we want to produce supporting content that Google thinks is highly relevant to the keyword we're trying to rank for. Now, it doesn't matter if I think it's relevant. It doesn't matter if you think it's relevant. It doesn't matter if your client thinks it's relevant. It matters that Google thinks it's relevant. So the first question is, how do we decide what Google thinks is relevant? Well, no problem. The primary keyword you're trying to rank for, in this case, plumber Houston, type that into Google without the city name. There's going to be a section for people also ask. Those are questions that Google is yelling at you. They're highly relevant to that keyword. So take a look in that section. If you need more, if you open and close any one of those prompts, you're going to get more and more of that pop up. Write articles answering those questions and then link them internally. On top of that, I mentioned keyword research, including hyperlocal keywords, neighborhoods, events. That might sound like it's going to be overwhelming and take hours to do, but you can do this keyword research in about 20 or 30 minutes with some help from ChatGPT. Here's the prompt that we use almost verbatim for local keyword research. You are a local search engine optimization expert. Give me some keyword ideas for a local plumber in Houston, Texas. Include keywords that target specific neighborhoods in the city and keywords for a variety of services a local plumber would want customers for. Keep in mind seasonal trends and local language nuances. Also, make sure you mention local events and landmarks in the keyword research. That prompt saves hours of keyword research help. Now you're going to get an output where ChatGPT is telling you about leaky sink, River Oaks, pipe leak in the Heights, all these very specific hyper-local keywords that would take a lot of time to find otherwise. And the great thing is, when you start to write content and you talk about specific neighborhoods, you talk about specific events, you talk about specific landmarks in that content, that is a massive sign to Google that you are in fact a true local business, okay? Historically, it takes a massive effort to learn about individual cities and their neighborhoods if you don't live there. So ChatGPT is a massive shortcut in excellent hyperlocal keyword research. Now, we also know that Google uses external links as a sign of quality. Google is an algorithm. Google can't read. If Google doesn't know, based on a piece of content, whether I wrote it or whether Hemingway wrote it. So the method that Google uses to determine quality of content is external links from trusted websites. And one of the easiest, most trustworthy local websites that you can get to link to your website or your client is the local Chamber of Commerce. I'm a member of hundreds of local chambers of commerce all across the United States. They're not usually free to join, but once you join, they're usually very inexpensive for a local business. And once you join, you get that all-important link from the Chamber of Commerce to your homepage. That is a massive signal of trust to Google that, again, you are a real business. You're really located in that place. We know that Google does not like lead gen companies. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. But we know that Google doesn't like those. A local Chamber of Commerce link is a massive signal that that's not you, that you actually are a local business. On top of that, you'll want to make sure to source other quality links to the internal pages. If you don't have a good way to source links from other websites to yours, here's one that we use all the time. It's important to keep in mind what the client goals are when they first hire you to do SEO. A recent client of ours, they came to us, they had 100,000 visitors a month from Google. They'd paid a different SEO agency thousands and thousands of dollars a month for years. And that agency focused on getting them more traffic. And they did, honestly, a great job. 100,000 visitors a year is very impressive for a local business. The problem is none of those visitors were local. None of those visitors turned into local customers. Their biggest competitors were things like WebMD. Again, massive success if the client's goal was traffic. Sadly, the client's goal was not traffic. And that was a failure in that SEO engagement, and they came to my agency. So what we're doing to correct that is we're building in massive amounts of local relevance, okay? With the prompt I gave you about keyword research, we're writing a lot of content and editing existing content to show Google that we are a local business, that we are located in Houston, Texas, and we don't want people in Idaho who are searching for some random problem to find our website. We want people who need our services in Houston to find our website. So their traffic will probably drop, and I've warned them about that, because once Google sees that you're a local business, they're less likely to give you a bunch of non-local traffic. But that's good. Rarely do clients want both, okay? Now, I have a team that helps me implement this local SEO strategy. It can take quite a bit of time to try to do everything myself. So, of course, I brought additional help on board to make this happen. And the first challenge a lot of agency owners have when they bring new team members on board is struggle in training them, struggle in getting them to know what they should be doing. One of my rules of bringing on board team members is I don't want anybody who knows anything about SEO. The problem with bringing people on board who already know SEO or think they know SEO is usually I then have to spend a lot of time untraining all of the things they thought they knew about. When I am implementing an SEO strategy, I want it done my way. I know my way works. I've done it hundreds of times, and that's what I want. So generally, I'll bring people on board who don't know anything about SEO. Honestly, one of my best finds have been writers or copy editors. They do an excellent job with SEO as long as they have the right training. So the way that I build that training for my internal team, usually it starts with an Excel sheet. And then each row will be a step for, let's say, optimizing a Google business profile. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think our GBP optimization training has 35 steps in it. And for each one of those steps, I record myself doing it for the first time. Each of those recordings is maybe 30 seconds long. I think the longest one is probably 1.5 minutes. So none of them are very long, but it's exactly how to do every single step of the process and every single step of the GBP. Any login information, I make sure to include in that Excel sheet so they can log into Canva or they can log into ChatGPT or any other tools that we might use. And I'm also going to put any of the ChatGPT prompts that are helpful for that step in that training sheet. So if anyone might be interested in taking a look at those, let me know in the comments below and I might offer them in a future video. Especially in the next couple weeks, I have a big video coming out, the ultimate guide to local SEO, where I'm going to dive into this topic a lot more than I am here. And it's going to talk a lot about all of the very specific things that we do to rank Google business profiles. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss that video when it comes out. So, as I said at the beginning, reviews are just one part of a comprehensive local SEO strategy. They're important for conversion. They're not important to rank. If you're struggling in local SEO and you just keep telling your clients or yourself that the problem is that you need to get more reviews, I want to encourage you to think beyond reviews and focus on a holistic approach to local SEO that includes pushing up organic rankings as well. Please comment below with your experiences and thoughts on this topic. Do you disagree with me when I say reviews aren't very important for ranking? Let me know below. And don't forget, if you thought this video was valuable, please give it a like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so that you don't miss my upcoming ultimate guide to local SEO.